The Curse by Fabián González González. Because of the Mexican song El Hijo Desobediente, Ernesto's mother upheld the maxim La maldición de los padres siempre llega. A parent's curse always gets to you. He didn't know if it was a common Mexican belief or just hers, but he'd heard this proverb often as he grew up, particularly mornings on which the song played on the radio as she hand-tossed tortillas onto a hot comal. That's why you should always be obedient. You should always respect your parents. She explained the moral of the song, and he nodded as he concentrated on the next warm tortilla about to be placed in his hand. "Lest a curse be put on you by either your father or I," she'd exclaim, her face brightened by the fire that consumed the logs beneath the comal. So when, at 35, having been married for a term of 9 months, he gave her the news after his last hospital visit of his infertility, she at first clenched her jaw, attempting the rigidity that had consistently defined her as a mother in times of crisis. But she could not hang on to it, and her eyes melted into tears that he knew were not for him, but for herself. They sat in minutes of silence on the sofa, the only noise the awkward creaking of her mobile home's floor as they shifted their body weights from one side to the other. She broke the silence with a question. "And it's not her?" "Of course it's not her," he retorted, then in a more sedate manner. "I hope she leaves. She could have a family of her own." They fell into silence again, the creaking floor desperate for it to end. Overwhelmed by the solemnity, his mind began to wander into the past as it often did when he visited her. They never seemed to have much to say to each other. He reminisced by taking on a bird's eye view as if scanning a landscape far below. A landscape filled with polygons like tiles, or rather city blocks. A cityscape wherein each lane led to an intersection that, for better or worse, held a remembrance that marked his life. That day, he found his mind descending at the maternity ward in the Mercy Medical Center in Reading, his memory vivid as he held his newborn nephew in his arms, the first time he'd ever held a child that small. Ernesto was 15 years old then, exhilarated by the moment, perspiring as he felt in his hands the palpitating life, the squirming body whose first gasps of breath, first sights and smells must have come as a welcome but strange surprise. Something rather similar to what Ernesto experienced as he held the baby, imagining that he could make his tremulous arms strong, like gardens where things could grow. "Will you ever forgive me?" Ernesto's mother interrupted his musing. "There is nothing to forgive you for. I know you never meant it." He was 18 when his mother cast her curse. He'd been going through a depression which he tried to hide, but irritability became a common byproduct. That day, his then 3-year-old nephew had exasperated him to the point that he had to push him away. Though unintentional, the strength of the push made his nephew fall and break his left arm. That's when his mother screamed, "You animal! May God never give you children!" She didn't mean it, and he knew it, of course, but he resented it and reminded her of it often as he grew older, never imagining the news he'd just gotten from his doctor. "Your floor needs fixing," he said after a while, and moved all his weight to his right foot. The floor beneath him creaked. "I'll tile it up for you by Christmas." His gaze moved from the damaged floor to the splintered paneling of the walls, the sagging ceiling, the windows, the door.